Okay. Just making sure everything's hunky-dory. Alright. Well, here we are. Um, okay, so, welcome, anybody who's watching this on YouTube. If anyone's, watching this or just tuning in. So, yeah. Welcome, everybody, to, something a little bit different. I know this is, a little bit, strange to be seeing this, on a different channel rather than, being on Twitch and everything like that. Yeah, I know this is, gonna throw some people out of the loop wondering, what exactly is going on here and, why I'm choosing to do this on YouTube rather than Twitch. This is actually as much this is technically session 5 of my talk series. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I do a podcast of sorts where I basically talk about hold on. Yeah, actually let me tweet this out. So that people know where to go. Sorry, I'm still fairly new to this, so just trying to get my bearings on everything so that people know where to go. But anyway, yeah, welcome to technically session 5 of A Nerd Talks About Stuff. So yeah, this is technically session 5 of this, even though this is technically a test stream of me going on YouTube, which admittedly I'm looking at it now and it didn't seem so hard to set up at all. It was basically like, just having set everything up like in terms of just getting it to sync up with YouTube and everything. I thought it was going to be a bit of a long-winded process that would take its sweet-ass time, but I guess that's clearly not the case. But anyway, so you're probably wondering if anyone's watching this. I mean, if you're going to be listening to this later on SoundCloud, it really doesn't matter. But if you're watching this now on YouTube, you're probably wondering what's going on. Why am I doing this like this, or why am I deciding to put this on YouTube instead of like my usual place like Twitch and all that stuff? Well, there's a good reason for that. And actually, a good reason why I'm doing all this, it's because, well, I thought about it a lot, and I thought about what kind of direction I want this to go. I thought about what direction I wanted to make streams go. I've been doing a lot of thinking about everything. Just like in terms of my content and where to go in terms of like streaming as far as that goes. And I've decided a few things. One of which I've decided that I am indeed going to get back to streaming video games. And you probably, for those of you who have been tuning in to my Twitch streams, you probably have deduced that yourself if you tuned in at all recently, where I was playing a Pokemon randomizer. In fact, today, earlier, I was doing a playthrough of Mario and Luigi, and I thought about it, and I do want to like get back into the swing of things, and like try and get back to streaming video games. And I guess the reason why I stopped, for the most part, there was a few reasons why I stopped doing streaming for a little while, and it's mostly because well, for one, I wasn't enjoying it as much as I thought I was. Two, there are technical issues, and three, and this is something I realized very recently, is that my setup, like, it wasn't anything to do with the capture card or anything. I mean, that was just technical bullshit that I was dealing with. It was more over, like, just... It was more along the lines of me not having a really good setup in terms of, like, just my capture card and everything. Because in my room has very limited space, especially on my desk. I can only fit so much on it. And, there's, like, wires and shit like that that just get all over the place. I'm not the best when it comes to organization, as you can tell. But, that was another thing I realized, is that it was kind of getting a bit jarring switching back between streaming games and then just playing them on my own time with, the way things were set up in terms of capture card and everything. I mean, there might be a day where I do come back to streaming console games like I used to. It's just that the way things were set up in my room and on my desk, it really wasn't very optimal. And that was one of the reasons why I stopped streaming console games. And why I stopped streaming altogether, because of so many other stuff. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't enjoying myself. There was technical bullshit happening. But after, like, doing these past few streams of, like, Mario and Luigi and the Pokemon Randomizer made me realize I still do have that enthusiasm for wanting to stream games. It's just the type of medium I was using that was sort of preventing things. Because, like, the randomizer, says you can't tell, it's basically through, like, an emulator. You basically randomize base ROM of Pokemon, and then you play it on an emulator. And of course, Mario and Luigi was played on a 3DS capture card, which I did have for like a little while. And I was trying to, I guess I can talk about this too, what was happening with the mono water run of Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. And that actually, now that I think about it, is probably going to go on a hiatus, if not just going to be canceled. Because I discovered that my copy of Alpha Sapphire, well, it's not really my copy per se, but because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire apparently have this problem, for whatever reason, whenever I try playing Alpha Sapphire, it would get like this error, like, oh, an error has occurred, please turn off the power and try again. It's something that happens a lot. I mean, not a lot, but every now and then with certain, like, games and 3DSs and things like that. But it's interesting because I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen that error. I've never seen, like, I've never seen that happen where, it just, outright sort of crashes like that. And I for the longest time thought it was just, like, my copy of the game that was the problem, or something like that. But, as it turns out, I actually, I actually found out through a Twitter from one of the people I follow that it's actually something that, apparently is occurrent with this particular game, like Alpha Sapphire or Omega Ruby, where it just crashes on. I mean, it could just be like the 3DS that I have that's like, well, technically it's a 2DS. I got a 2DS with the capture card, and I guess I can talk about that in a little bit. But like, it was just that particular game that was doing it. In fact, like looking back at it now, when I was streaming Mario and Luigi earlier, I did not get that message at all, and I was playing on the 2DS with the capture card. And I guess I can explain about a little bit of that as well. The capture card I have with the 3DS, well, technically 2DS. I got a Katsu Kitty modded 2DS with a capture card built in. Because I wanted to see if I can try recording 3DS games and all that, because it was something that I was looking into for a while. And after like getting everything set up with like the audio and everything, it's still like it's interesting because when I was looking for 3DS capture cards, I was running into like brick walls left and right in terms of like what to get and who to get it from, because apparently there's like different capture cards for like the 3DS and all that. And like one of the options was I think his name was Bluxy, something like that, Blunty, who like you send like your 3DS to him, and he actually installs a capture card for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. The problem with that is that he only did like the original 3DS, which was like the standard first model 3DS ever made, and like it wasn't available anymore, and like even if it is available, it's like short supply. So that was the window. The other option, which one I went with, was the Katsu Kitty, which is this person who runs like this website where you can buy like, you know, capture cards, or like better yet, a 3DS or a 2DS or even a new 3DS with a capture card built in. I got a 2DS with a capture card built in. It's a green 2DS that apparently came with like Ocarina of Time 3D, which might be another game I can consider playing on stream. And it's interesting, it works, and I've seen people say it worked, but apparently, like, Katsukity was under heavy criticism for his capture cards breaking down and like not working anymore. And the thing that really was the kicker was that that his support for it, like through customer support for it, was like really bad, because like English isn't his native language, and so his support through that was very vague, and people were complaining about it. I mean, I haven't had any problems with the capture card, but then again, I've only had it for like a few months, so jury's out on whether or not it'll actually like crash on me somewhere down the line. It may very well happen. I don't know, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it doesn't. But I mean, if it does, then I'm just gonna have to deal with it, and like, you know, you gotta roll with the punches. And I realized that going into like when I got an Elgato, because I was having trouble with it for a time because like streams kept crashing. And I sort of figured that out myself. Like, I basically, one of the things I did was switch to OBS instead of using like the software that the capture card came, that you can download for the capture card. Like, OBS worked so much better. It took a little bit to set up, but it worked so much better. Streams were much more clear and fluent. And even when there were technical problems with OBS, they were not so bad to fix when I knew what was wrong. Like the audio delay, I basically delayed the audio on my mic, and that that fixed the problem with that. Although it's weird now, because like I don't even need to delay the mic when I'm playing like the randomizer in Mario Luigi with 3DS. I guess it's because like, you know, it's like, because the thing is with like a capture card, you have to like, the way it's set up, you gotta like connect it to the TV and then to the console and then connected directly to your computer and all that. But I guess since with 3DS capture card, it's going straight from the console to the computer, it's not a big a problem. So that's I don't know, I'm just giving out bullshit as to what I think and all that. But anywho, but yeah, like I figure with the way things are now, I might just stick with like streaming certain games on a certain type of medium for a little while and see how that goes. I might go back to like streaming content games when I feel I'm comfortable enough to do that and I feel I'm in a position where I can do that. Like, because here's the thing. Like, I'm dealing with a lot of shit right now in real life. Like, just for one, trying to find work again. For two, trying to find my own place. Because I'm in that transitional period where, you know, you're living at home with your parents, you're out of school, and now your next step is like, just like, get a job and find your own place, you lazy piece of shit, and all that. And it's just, that's part of the reason why I stopped streaming for a little bit. It was because it was getting a little bit stressful, and there are times where I'll just get really super depressed and out of it, and it's just not a pretty scene for me at all. But anyway, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that looking at this now, I might, emphasis on might, stick to the podcast or like the talk show on YouTube and stream video games on Twitch. And there's a, I think my reason for wanting to do this is for a few reasons. Like one, like I noticed that YouTube, like in terms of like streaming, it's a different like type, but like, and I know there's people who do stream games on YouTube. It's just like, when it comes to streaming games, you're better off going to Twitch for that. And I know Twitch has other types of streams. Like, you know, there are people out there. And it's like, I am thinking of doing other types of streams on Twitch as well. Like, maybe doing some art streams where I just draw some stuff. That might happen in the future. But I think, like, you know, things that are not video game related, I feel like they work better on YouTube because YouTube is more broad when it comes to their content. It's not just video games. Like, there's other types of videos on there. And Twitch is more centralized around the gaming industry. And most of the streams you'll find on Twitch are indeed of gaming in some way, shape, or form. Again, I'm just talking out my ass here and what I believe. But I think that's how I'm going to go forward with all this. Because, I don't know, just, it might do my YouTube channel good to, like, stream a little bit on here, just drawing, like, a little bit of a crowd, in a way. Just to, like, get, like, sort of momentum going. Like, here's the thing, like, I'm not one of those people who wants to get super popular and all that. I just want to get, like, some kind of standing, just get my foot through the door, for God's sake. Like, when I start commissions, I haven't got a single one, and, I don't know, I feel like I want to be in a position where I feel I get enough traffic that I feel it gives me a right motivation to keep going. I'm not asking for like 1 million subscribers or followers and all that, but I just don't want to be at 0 all the time. That's basically my reasoning for that. So, that's basically all I gotta say about that. But yeah, I guess one thing I can talk about while I'm still on the air, I guess, is, I guess, going forward with, like, what's going to happen in terms of, like, everything else. I mean, everything else won't really be affected by the streaming aspect. I'm still going to be drawing and talking on Discord and Twitter and all that good stuff. That's not going to change at all. And I guess once I've gotten the hang of like going back and forth between like YouTube for this and Twitch for streaming games, I feel like I'll have a good balance of, and so that I can have a good direction, I guess. Because that's really all what this is about, finding a good direction for me and finding out what I'm doing with life and shit. I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit sappy about all this thing, but it goes without saying. It goes without saying. Let's see. Trying to think what else I talk about. Like I said, for those of you who don't know, I usually like to go for these talk shows, for these podcasts, I guess, in general. I usually like to go for like 30 minutes to at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes to an hour. I think I know. Yeah, there is something I could talk about. Well, there's a few things I could talk about. One is which I have been, at the time of this, I'm in the process of finding work. I do have this interview coming up at the time of this. So, I'll be sure to let y'all know how that goes. And I guess the other thing I talk about is like Super Mario Party, because Super Mario Party, at the time of this, just came out, and I'll be honest, I was a bit on the fence about Super Mario Party. I know people were talking about, oh, this is going to be the great revival of Mario Party. And for a while, I was like a little bit skeptical because like the past few Mario Parties have just been garbage. Like ever since Mario Party 9 and since the handheld Mario Parties, it just hadn't been the same. Like, they did a bunch of weird, gimmicky shit that made me feel really, really uncomfortable in a certain way. And I think the last one I can think of where I play a little bit was like Mario Party 8. And I didn't even play it or own it that long. I think I just like played it for like 5 minutes. But, you know, I have played some of the other Mario Parties. I mean, I've been watching it running right, guys, and like I do own some of the Mario Parties, like in level 2. I think I have 5 and 7 somewhere. Maybe 6. I do have Mario Party 2 downloaded on my Wii, so that's that. And I'll admit, Mario Party Top 100, it's interesting to see all these, like, mini games that you remember and all that, sort of like in this collection. That's pretty interesting. I think my main point is Super Mario Party, it looks very promising, and from what I've seen, good. Which is something I wouldn't be saying before about, like, you know, any Mario Party after 8, because, like, let's be honest, everybody hated Mario Party 9 and 10. Nobody liked the car mechanic. I think people liked the Bowser mechanic in Mario Party 10 even less. So it was kind of hard to say if Super Mario Party was going to live up to any expectations, but I gotta say, from what I've seen from people playing it, it actually looks good. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this about Super Mario Party. It actually looks playable. And it's interesting to see all the things they brought back in terms of the main Mario Party mechanics, but also the things that they changed. Like, okay, so one thing people are complaining about is, like, the fact that online for Super Mario Party is only minigames. And, I would agree that's kind of a deal breaker, but I think that it's still a good way to, like, get people back in this series because, like, you know, with Mario Party Top 100 doing relatively well, and the fact that the minigames have always been, like, the main part of, like, Mario Party, it makes sense, like, why they would want to entice you to play online with people with the minigames, because that's always been the biggest thing about Mario Party was the minigames. I mean, hell, they even made a whole collection about them. And Yeah, and the other thing people are complaining about is that there is not too many boards in this one, which I can concede, like, that's a bit of a deal breaker too. But if this gets enough traction, I can see them, like, adding boards gradually. Because from what what I've seen, Super Mario Party actually looks playable. I'm actually considering getting it for myself. And the thing is, it's not one of those things where, like, the pieces are there, but they don't fit. The pieces are definitely there, and they actually fit in a way that works, and it's not, like, just crammed in or forced in or anything like that. The best way I can describe Super Mario Party from what I've seen is, like, a modern, traditional Mario Party. Which is a bit of an oxymoron, and something I never thought I'd say, but, like, if they can put this kind of effort into reviving a series like Mario Party, I have full confidence in Nintendo. Because they've been making, like, a diligent effort to try and revive certain series, like Star Fox Zero. Star Fox Zero, like, I know many people didn't like it because of the controls and because it was just, like, a reboot of the original Star Fox storyline. But for what it was worth, it was a valiant effort to try and bring back a series that hasn't seen a lot of attention on, like, especially again with, like, Metroid, because, like, recently we got, like, the Metroid 2 remake was the Metroid 2 remake, which people actually really liked, and with all the hype behind Metroid Prime 4, that's definitely gonna be, like, hell, nobody expected them to make, like, a Luigi Mansion 3 on the Switch. That just came out of nowhere. And the thing is, like, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon did relatively well, and I imagine people are gonna play the hell out of the original Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS, because there are people out there who've never played Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. I know I never got the chance to, and this will be a good way to, like, get them to bring back the nostalgia they might have missed out on. And Luigi's Mansion 3, it's gonna be really, really interesting to see what kind of things they do for Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch. I am actually very excited for Luigi's Mansion 3 because, like, I play Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and I'm probably gonna get the Luigi's Mansion remake on 3DS. And Dark Moon, like, even though it took more of a cartoony approach with, like, you know, like, with, like, Luigi and the characters and the ghosts and all that, I still say it had a lot of personality as a game. I'd say Luigi's Mansion, the first Luigi's Mansion game, was, like, better with, like, atmosphere, but Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was better with, like, storytelling and development. I think that's where I stand on both games. And it's interesting what kind of direction they're going to take with Luigi's Mansion 3 on a Switch. And here's the thing, like, all the games that they've had so far on the Switch have been, like, phenomenal. I can't think of a single game on Switch that Nintendo has put out that hasn't been good. Like, even games not made by Nintendo have been great. I can only, like, again, there's not many games, like, on a Switch that have been bad, except for Sonic Forces. Sorry about that. But with the kind of, like, thought and effort they put into as of late, and the thing is, they are not half-assing the Switch at all like they did, like, the past with, like, the Wii U. They're going all out and beyond with the Switch, and I am just beyond words with how successful the Switch has been in such a short amount of time. Like, even, like, the beginning of the Switch started out strong with, like, Zelda and a few other games that were announced to Switch at launch. It's been really good, and I'm interested to see, like, how other series are going to play out, like Metroid and Animal Crossing, and eventually other series like Pikmin, Star Fox, things like that. We've already seen how Zelda handles, we've already seen how Mario handles, we've already seen how Kirby handles, and sure enough, Pokemon's going to be coming there with Let's Go and the main Pokemon game that they confirmed for next year. We have no idea what it's be. It could be Gen 8. It could be a Gen 4 remake. I'd be fine with either or both. But I just feel like Nintendo has been really good when it comes to their games. Online is a different story. And might as well just not even try to ignore the elephant room about Nintendo Switch Online. Because people, like, gave Nintendo such a hard time about Nintendo Switch Online. But because, like, for the longest time, Nintendo didn't even, like, charge people for, like, online. And the online itself was, like, mediocre at best. And the fact, I think it's because of the fact that they expected people to pay for it now, and, like, nothing really changed, is what really threw people off. But I'm in the canon of people who believe that because they're charging for it now, it will get better. And the thing is, like, $20 a year is not, like, expensive by any means. Like, even when I went to pay for it, like, I have my own story about going through paying for Nintendo Switch Online, but that's completely different, completely irrelevant. But, like, you can even, like, if you're doing, like, the family plan, you can, like, get a few buddies together, and each of you just chip in a certain amount. It's still not bad in terms of pricing. You really can't fault Nintendo for that at the very least. But I will concede, if the online doesn't get better soon, then I'll have to admit defeat and say it would not be worth it. So jury's out on, like, whether or not Nintendo, like, can make this online stable now they're charging for it. In fact, like, I'm still getting disconnects when I play Mario Kart and Splatoon, and it's been, like, what, like, a couple weeks or a month since it got put out? I mean, it's not going to get better overnight, people. Let's be real here. But I'd say give them time. Give them at least until when Smash come up, when it's really gonna matter. Because everyone is going to want to play Smash online. And you can't deny them that. So Nintendo, if you're listening, if you're watching out there, you gotta make sure that the online's at least good when Smash comes out. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. If it's not, then I will have to fall back into camp of people that say it's not going to be worth it. So, make it happen. You know? It's like Reggie said himself. It's like the man, Reggie Fils-Aimé, my man Reggie said himself. If it's not fun, why bother? If it's not going to work, why bother? And, yeah, Nintendo, like, I don't know, like, as much as this big empire Nintendo has built and it's falling, even they are not perfect, and sometimes they make very confusing decisions. But we still love them. We still love them. Even if they're like an 100-year-old company that still hasn't figured out online. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I guess that's pretty much all I say. I'm gonna play around a little bit with the YouTube streaming here, as well as like getting back into like Twitch as well, just to make sure like everything's on the up and up, and I don't have to keep like changing things about it. But other than that, I think that's going to be it for now. So, thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all next time.